Hello, welcome back. We are back. How you doing? See the big smile on my face? It's fake. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing with you guys, man. Hopefully you guys are having an amazing day today. Hopefully you guys are having an amazing month. Had an amazing month. As I said in the last video, it is the last day of the month. Of course, tomorrow, you already know what we're going to be singing. You know, as soon as we wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month. But viewer retention, let's go. Course exact. Never fails to deliver best science channel. Is it really fair to just call them science channel? That's a bit of an oversimplification. But it is kind of the theme that they go with. A lot of these channels, like knowledge, they're just so good. I love the animations. I love the knowledge, the explanations. It's just all beautiful. It's such a wonderful channel. It's just so lovely that we can have this type of stuff for free. Such a pro of the internet, such a pro of the modern age, such a pro of computers and animations. To be able to visualize it, you know, as very visual creatures. My God, dude, it's fucking beautiful. You know, I had to buy their habit journal. Wait. I had to buy their habit journal and the gratitude journal. You guys know I had to cop that. I had to cop it. I could not cop it, you know, so we had to get that. And we did. And, well, let's get right into it. No more pussyfooting around, as I should say. You know, just warning, new to the channel. I might curse a little bit here and there, you know, but it is still educational content, so let's
In
learn.
the 1970s, thousands of chicken heads rained from the sky in Europe, making foxes and other wildlife confused and very happy. Why?
Why?
They were filled with a vaccine to fight the deadliest virus known to humanity. Since the 1930s, a rabies
I don't like the captions on this. I'm just gonna do whatever captions.
to fight the deadliest virus known to humanity.
Rabies?
Since the 1930s, a rabies epidemic had been sweeping across wildlife populations in Europe, and humans wanted to finally get rid of the virus once and for all. Rabies is named after Lyssa, the ancient Greek spirit of mad rage, and has been haunting us for at least 4,000 years. It can turn animals into angry beasts and humans into zombies that fear water. But what makes Lyssa fascinating is not just how bizarre and
Angry beasts and humans fear water? Rabies makes humans fear water? What? I didn't know that. That can't be right. We named it after a mythical, person? Of course, we name everything after shit, you know, fucking mythical creatures and shit.
years. It can turn animals into angry beasts and humans into zombies that fear water. But what makes Lyssa fascinating is not just how bizarre and deadly its infection is, but also how incredibly good it is at avoiding our defenses.
Damn, that motherfucker's slimy then. Rabies is slimy with it, bro.
Viruses exist on the edge between life and death, hardly more than a few genetic instructions that need living cells to multiply. The Lyssa virus is simple even for a virus. It has only 5 genes, that is, the instructions for 5 proteins that let it solve complex problems, infect a mammal, avoid its immune system, travel to its brain, make more of itself, and infect new hosts. Let's see what happens if you get infected. It all starts.
That's so crazy about life. It's like closed systems trying to stop open systems. It's like trying to bring you back into the world of mundane death, of nothingness, of not being alive, of not being a system that is alive, that is technically sentient. You know, well, not everything that's technically alive is. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's very complicated, man. But it's just like the fact that you're a dead stuff, right? Because a lot of viruses are kind of dead, right? Like, they're not alive. But the fact that you're dead stuff and the only purpose you serve, the only thing that you were really good at doing, that you want to do. Yeah? Okay, yeah, wait. The only thing that you're really good at doing, you're, like, kind of designed to do in a way, right? Because it's kind of what you do. That's what you thrive off of. You have an innate longing to do this. It feels good in a sense. It's like they got pleasure. You know, we get pleasure from sex, drug, whatever, dopamine, whatever. That dopamine rush. Like, that dead thing would kind of do the same thing, except it's just not alive. It doesn't have a brain. But there's like a similar mechanism wherein it just enjoys taking over a host and technically killing it. It's so weird to me. The fact that that's a thing. Like, it's so weird. Look at this dog. That's a weird time to pause, by the way.
With a bite, most likely by a dog carrying millions of viruses in its saliva, pushing them deep into the tissue. The goal is your nerve cells, your neurons.
Not the neurons.
They are living electrochemical wires transferring signals throughout your body and can stretch for up to 1.5 meters with their cellular machinery on one end and a terminal on the other. The terminal is where cells talk to each other by passing chemicals that convey information. Lissa probably binds to the receptors that are crucial for this process and slips inside the unsuspecting nerve cells.
I'm not gonna hold you. I
One
kind of
end
need the
and a
captions
terminal
'cause
on
that's
the other.
Stupid.
The terminal is where cells talk to each other by passing chemicals that convey information. Lissa probably binds to the receptors that are crucial for this process and slips inside the unsuspecting nerve cells. Inside, the virus has to solve a big problem. It needs to get to the cellular machinery to take over the cell and make more viruses, and because neurons are pretty long, this can be far away. There is a solution at hand though. Cells have microtubules spanning their insides that give them structural integrity, but they also provide a track system for a specialized delivery system. Dynein motors are actual motors that use energy and deliver packages. They're made from 50 different proteins, 10 times more than the virus, and look like a little pair of shoes. Lissa uses one of its 5 proteins to hijack this amazing system and order it to head for the nucleus. What's the immune system doing to prevent all of that? Well, unfortunately, not much. Usually when a virus attacks, your civilian cells are crucial in activating your immune response. They notice that they've been infected and release hundreds of thousands of a special family of proteins, the interferons that, well, interfere with viruses. We'll have to simplify a lot, but in a nutshell, interferons alert your immune system to make antivirus weapons. But they do much more. They tell civilian cells to turn down their protein factories for a while, which means that viruses can't replicate efficiently anymore. And interferons tell your cells to become super transparent, which is important because how can your immune cells notice that your civilian cells are infected when viruses hide inside them? Your body solves this by
What?
super transparent.
I mean, like, this, it's an oversimplification. Let's be real here. Let's be fair. For a moment, it's an oversimplification. But my God, that is crazy. So, like, you're using English words to describe this. You know, linguistics is going to get in the way. But what the fuck? Becoming transparent? What? So more see-through? So they have vision, they have eyes? So it's more like, oh, for their sensors. I'm like more transparent to like, do these viruses have sensors? Or they just kind of work like them old motherfuckers where they would just kind of mindlessly wander around, so there's no sensors, there's no sense of time, place, or anything. They just kind of like circle around, and then they move faster when they don't have food, right? Like when they have eaten and they're fine, they don't need any more energy, and they're doing okay because they've just eaten, they've just fed. They slow down and they don't move as fast, and then when they're hungry and they still need to do something, but they don't have really any sensors or like any sense of place or time or anything, those viruses have to be alive. Because what? They stuck onto the motherfucker that crawls along your shit inside of your neurons. And they latched onto the motherfucker. And they said they told him to go to the neuron. These motherfuckers are deviant. There's got to be some... How is it not alive? What the fuck? And then they're transparent to what? Sensors? More transparent so that as the immune system... So the immune system can see it? I'm like kind of... My head is kind of hurting. For the first time ever, I'm actually like kind of hurting here. Because I'm just like not very well versed when it comes to like the body. When it comes to like biology and like the shit inside the shit. You know? It's like, this is some very complex stuff. Damn.
Transparent, which is important because how can your immune cells notice that your civilian cells are infected when viruses hide inside them?
Yeah, how the fuck they gonna
Your
tell
body
that?
solves this by creating display windows into their insides called MHC class 1 molecules.
Display windows?
Cells constantly produce stuff to stay alive, and to showcase to your immune cells what's going on inside them, they take random samples of their products and put them into these tiny display windows to give a peek inside.
I don't believe that. I don't believe
Interferons tell your cells to make way more display windows and become super transparent. If a cell is infected and forced to make virus parts, your immune cells will see these parts in a window and order the infected cell to kill itself and all the viruses trapped within.
Kill itself? Suicide?
This is one of the most powerful methods of wiping out a viral infection. Unfortunately, Lissa blocks your neurons from making interferons and stays basically invisible to your immune system. In contrast to many other viruses, when it replicates, it doesn't kill its host, which would also trigger alarm systems. Instead, it stealthily jumps from neuron to neuron, very slowly making its way to your brain. This phase can take weeks to months and very rarely even years, and depends on a bunch of things, like if the bite was in your face or foot, or how many viruses got into your muscles. Lissa is a patient monster until it reaches its goal. Your muscle. A bunch of things, like if the bite was in your face or foot, or how many viruses got into your muscles. Lissa is a patient monster until it reaches its goal, your brainstem. Finally, the immune system catches on that something isn't right and...
So if a fucking rabies infected dog bit you in your foot, you still fucked. It's just gonna take a longer time. But if it's still gonna... It's gonna sneak its way past all your security. Right? You paid hell of money for that security. I mean, this is better than 6ix9ine security. You know, like there's a lot of security. And it's gonna just sneak past all of that, bro, on some... What was that game? Sneaky Thief? What was that game called? Oh my god. Sneak Thief? Forgot what it was called, bro, but you have to, like, sneak into the house, steal the money. Fucking... Oh my god. These guys are thugs. You guys are just sneaking past. All the way to my brain. Yo, fuck all of you, bro. Why would you want to do that? That is so shitty of you. I'm not gonna hold you. That is very shitty.
Reacts. It dispatches some of your most powerful antivirus cells, killer T cells, to seek and kill infected cells and wipe out the enemy. In other viral infections, this would be a turning point, but in rabies, the T cells are rushing towards their doom. Simple Lissa, with its 5 proteins, plays a reverse card, using the immune system's ingenuity against itself. Your central nervous system is a very would be a turning point, but in rabies, the T cells are rushing towards their doom. Simple Lissa, with its 5 proteins, plays a reverse card, using the immune system's ingenuity against itself. Your central nervous system is a very...
How is it done? So, the T cells that kill its own cells to protect itself, its own cells that have been affected, Lissa will put a Uno reverse, and it will kill itself? So the thing responsible for killing other cells for the sake of security is gonna kill itself? Just when it sees Lissa? Or does Lissa have to do something? Does it have to, like, communicate in some type of way? Does it have to get inside of it? Or are they just like, yeah, I think it's a little bit too simple. I'm asking too many questions. Hold on.
Fragile part of your body, and so the immune system has to be very careful. A few haywire immune cells in your brain is a quick way to die. So they aren't free to enter your nervous system, they have to be invited in and can be kicked out. To protect themselves, your nerve cells can order T cells to self-destruct if they think they're overreacting. And Lissa figured out a way to make infected neurons express this order. So as your powerful defense cells arrive, they are ordered to commit suicide. Now the virus infiltrates...
So that's how they pull the Uno reverse card I talked to you earlier.
They're overreacting. And Lissa figured out a way to make infected neurons express this order. So as your powerful defense cells arrive, they are ordered to commit suicide. Now the virus infiltrates the brainstem. Once this stage is reached, you are going to die.
just
the
so
program
casually,
has equipped me
just so
with
nonchalant
all
with
of
it.
the skills.
Yeah, but by this point, yeah, you're fucked. You're pretty fucked, but it's okay though. At least you know this stuff. At least you know how it works. This Lissa. This is how Lissa kills. They act like it's just a random story. Like it's just a made up fictional story. Is it fiction or non-fiction? I'm not gonna get into that. But fool. What? They take over the neurons. Lissa takes over the neurons and then orders. When you're in the neuron, you're in the control center. So then the neurons can control the T cells and tell it that it's overreacting, so it'll self-destruct to stop itself from being killed? That is so evil. That is fucking evil.
Lyssa kills.
I don't believe
One of the
that.
most irritating things about the Lyssa virus
It just doesn't seem like it's real. It doesn't seem like that's how something like that would work. It seems like you're like really oversimplifying it, just so that it makes sense to human ears, like to the way that we like understand things in terms of like words and stories and shit. I feel like the reality of it is it works very differently, but this is the most simplified version of it. It's like it takes over the cell.
virus is that we still don't know exactly how and why an infected person dies. Our usual idea of viruses causing damage is by multiplying rapidly, killing their host cells once they've made enough copies, triggering a massive immune reaction that also does a lot of damage. But this doesn't seem to be what happens here. Brain tissue of rabies patients shows minimal, sometimes non-existent damage. Instead of murdering everything in sight, it's currently thought that Lyssa wreaks havoc by messing up the neuron communication inside your brain, so much so that it can't function anymore. This leads to symptoms like confusion, aggression, and paralysis. Now the virus begins to leave. Still traveling through neurons, it migrates away from the brain and heads for the salivary glands. This is remarkable because after traveling in one direction, the virus reverses its course. After decades of study, we don't know how this works. Lyssa ends up saturating your saliva, ready for the...
So after it's okay, that's gotta be alive. That's gotta have some type of consciousness, right? Somehow, some way, in a blah blah, a weird way of not the way of consciousness that we know about it, but in some weird way, it's gotta be aware. Like, it travels to the neuron, comes back out to your saliva shits, and you don't even know how it works, how it might do that. We don't know how the fuck they pulled that off. Okay.
Traveling in one direction, the virus reverses its course. After decades of study, we don't know how this works. Lyssa ends up saturating your saliva, ready for the irate mammal to bite another, and repeat the cycle. While this seems like the beginning of a...
It does that so that it'll bite. Oh my god. I'm literally looking at it and I'm like, I can see all of this. It's like a movie. But it's supposed to be real life? Like it actually does that? My god.
Zombie outbreak. Luckily, there are no known cases of a human biting another and spreading rabies this way. Now, the end is near. You are rapidly developing encephalitis, a swelling of the brain with many unpleasant neurological symptoms from lethargy to paralysis. Slowly at first, and then suddenly, organ after organ fails as you slip into a coma. There is no known effective therapy. Barely anyone has ever survived Lyssa once symptoms begin to show. It is by far the deadliest virus we know. Except, there is actually something that could save you, a vaccine. Rabies was one of the first diseases humans developed a vaccine for. As vaccines do, it prepares your immune system for a future attack so it has the right weapons ready in high numbers. The horrific tricks of simple Lyssa don't work once you are vaccinated. And the vaccine is special for another reason. Because Lyssa is so slow in the first few weeks, it can be given to you after you've been exposed. So you can still be vaccinated after you've been bitten by an animal. Which is super important if you've had contact with a sick wild animal, say a bat, because you often don't even notice a bite from tiny teeth. Rabies is a monster, one that has followed our species around for thousands of years, that our ancestors were terrified of, and rightly so. It still kills around 60,000 people each year, almost half of them children. We are far from eradicating this monster. It lurks in the shadows, in forests and animals of all kinds, ready to return in greater numbers if we ever forget how to keep it at bay, or if we continue the trend of being suspicious of...
That's real conscious people getting fucking that process done to them. That motherfucker bitten me? Oh, man. No, bro. What? Man, fuck rabies, dog. Fuck all viruses, man. Y'all some shitters. Y'all some bums, man. I stamp. Scum of the earth. Straight up, man.
Vaccines. Let's hope that one day humanity slays this monster, so it can become, like most monsters, part of our imagination.
If only.
There are much deeper levels of knowledge to explore about rabies than the glimpse we just showed you, but digging into sources and scientific information on your own can be intimidating. So we've partnered with our friends from Brilliant to create an interactive course with hands-on lessons to guide you through some of the concepts we showed in this video. Brilliant is an interactive learning tool with over 60 courses in maths, science and computer science. They make science accessible with a hands-on approach. Think of it as a one-on-one tutoring version of a Kurzgesagt video. You'll experiment with how fast the virus can reach your brain based on its protein makeup, or run simulations on rabies' genetic evolution to explore how mutations created the deadly virus we know today. You can do things like manipulate energy to see how black holes are formed, or control the expansion of space itself to determine the ultimate fate of the universe. To get some behind-the-scenes science coaching on space and biology and many more topics, go to brilliant.org/nutshell and sign up for free. And there's an extra perk for Kurzgesagt viewers. The first 200 people to use the link.
Shouts out Kurzgesagt, man. Let me know what you guys think about that video. Let me know what you guys want me to react to next, okay? Hopefully. Damn. They got some good stuff, you know. Pocket log? Shit. They're making bread. Kurzgesagt makes bread. They're so good. I bought 2 journals, by the way. That shit was kind of expensive. I'm not gonna lie. The journals are kind of expensive. Like, fuck. Man. But, yeah, I mean, fuck. The deadliest virus on Earth. Fuck sakes. Let me know what you guys think, man. Is that not the same as the brain eater? Brain-eating amoeba? Okay, so that one actually eats your brain, I think. Might have to watch that one next. Maybe. Fuck it. But yeah. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you made it all the way to the end of the video. If you did, leave a comment, right? I'm gonna like it, and I'm gonna pin it, and I'm gonna do all that stuff. Have a great rest of your day, man. Be careful out there. Don't get bitten. If it's possible, I don't fucking like, to think that something could actually be out of your control. It's gonna come bite you and have that process. Well, thank God that there's a vaccine. Thank God they ended it at least on a good note. You know, there is a vaccine. Most people have been vaccinated. I think it's one of those vaccines that they ask for, right? It's mandatory, kind of. I think. I would think so, at least. Hopefully, hopefully I've already gotten it. You know, hopefully most of us have it. Stay safe out there, all right? Yes, sir.